I've been itching to get back out into the desert. We've spent this winter in the deep snow and cold of Idaho, which is fun, but progress is slow and we never got far. The desert's warmth, great weather, and wide open roads make travel far more pleasant and a lot easier. Usually. We're back in Utah, which after the cold and snowy Idaho trips we've been taking this winter is a nice change. You might see I'm in a t-shirt. It is just barely t-shirt weather. It's kind of on the cool side. I think if the wind picked up at all, I'd be cold. But right now, sun's out, I'm comfortable. And David has joined me too in his recently fixed Bronco. And you might be able to see that the interstate is behind me. We've just come off I-70 and we're basically gonna be following I-70 parallel for a little bit. We actually cross under it 3 times before heading off down into the swell for what might be this Jeep's last trip. But it's gonna be a good one. We've got plenty of cool stuff and cool sights planned, so I'm looking forward to it. After a solid day of highway driving down from Idaho, it was good to be back off pavement again, especially with the sun shining and Utah's beautiful landscape surrounding us. When I said go under the highway earlier, it's basically a culvert. This is pretty cool. Like this kind of road is what Broncos were made for.
The Broncos were made for every kind of road.
There's a fenced off section up there. I'm wondering what that's for.
Do you want to go check it out?
That's what you'd never ask. We were just driving along and on Onyx Maps I saw something labeled Head of Sinbad. I looked up here and it's like fenced off. So I'm assuming there's something cool up here, so we've come up to investigate, because we're nerds, and we like to do things like that.
What? Oh, wow. That's cool. This one right here looks like an alien.
I should have known there'd be petroglyphs. Here, this part of Utah, anytime you see a cliff face like this, fenced off, you can guarantee it's petroglyphs. Like they're all over the place here. And these are some of the weirdest petroglyphs you'll see anywhere. They're the ones in Utah. Like these are weird alien figures. Well, that was a really cool stop that I wasn't expecting at all, and super weird petroglyphs too. I thought about camping there because it's 6 o'clock now and we're both really tired from driving all the way down here. But I think we're going to keep going for a little longer. We're about to head down into a canyon. It does go up to a really cool overlook. I think it'll be like 9 o'clock before we get there. So we'll see when we end up. Thinking probably canyon, just because I'm tired. Got another culvert to go onto the interstate.
These are pretty cool. They're snug.
On our way out to the canyon, we passed a few patches of snow, but the trail, while damp, wasn't bad right up until we hit a sudden patch of really wet ground.
Okay, this is sloppy.
I thought we were gonna be in trouble for a second there.
Swayze Cabin, I've heard of that.
The San Rafael Swell has dozens of formations named after the Swayze brothers who used this area of Utah for ranching. In 1921, they got tired of sleeping in the caves in the area and built Swayze Cabin, which sits at the foot of a large cliff close to Broken Cross Tower. The cabin is well built and is in excellent condition despite over 100 years of cold winters and scorching summers, and even now still has a spot to tie up your horse. So we made it Swayze Cabin, and it's the start of Eagle Canyon behind me. And I have a concern with going into Eagle Canyon. As we were coming across the flat area out here, we hit a really sloppy section, like just throwing us around all over the place and slung sand up all down the side of the vehicles. And I was just flying the drone down the canyon, and it's covered in snow and it's super wet down there. And there are some sections that are a little kind of off camber on ledges, and I don't know, it might be really sketchy down there. It's definitely very snowy. So we need to talk, David.
Yeah, I mean, if it's anything like what we just went through, there was zero traction. Like we were just a passenger.
Look at the handle on this. Oh, so much sand.
That's the worst.
All right, we are going back the way we came. Unfortunately, that does mean going back through that super sloppy section. It makes a mess up the trucks. It drives out super fast up here. I think we just got really unlucky. And we're going to head back over to the Petroglyph site because it was nice and dry over there. And it was a good little campsite. That's annoying because I really wanted to go down Eagle Canyon. It is a really cool canyon. Yuck, this bad. I think that was it, right? Just that one little patch?
Yeah, that was it.
And like a quarter of a mile further up, it's just completely dry. We drove around the cliffs trying to find a slightly more secluded spot to camp, but every little side road was marked as closed. Eventually, we ended up back at the Petroglyphs. Alright, so an hour and a half later and we're back in exactly the same spot, just a little hungrier, a little more tired, and covered in tons of sand down the sides of our vehicles from that one little sloppy spot. But we learned we can't go that way tomorrow. We're going to have to figure something else out. But I really like this spot, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with coming back here. It does mean tomorrow we need to figure out how to go a little further, a little faster, because we've got a lot of miles to cover. We've got to get down to Escalante by basically late Wednesday to meet up with Justin. gonna sit here and watch you make the fire.
Sounds about right.
I think that's what happens when you go over 100,000 subs. I think that's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's probably what happens.
The peons make the fire.
Who am I gonna have when I hit 100? I plan on being
Find someone.
I plan on being such a bag that no one wants to hang out.
You already are.
If you'd like to be David's lackey, he's accepting applications over on his channel, Off the Grind. Go leave a comment on his latest video letting him know. That evening, as we sat by the fire, we witnessed a SpaceX Starlink satellite launch leave the weirdest trails in the sky.
Good morning. It was a chilly night last night. You can see there's frost on top of my tent, except for the one little spot where my feet were jammed against the end. But I did sleep really well all night long. But when I woke up this morning, the cold has killed my key fob. I keep getting the battery low warnings because I ignore them. So now I can't get in my Jeep. And the backup method is right here under like an inch of concrete. So I'm gonna start digging that out so I can get into the Jeep and get my own camera out and get started with this morning. I'm gonna use my little duck knife. It is just
That's a bold move to use a knife.
but it's concrete, look at it.
It is. Holy crap.
It's because I think it's frozen.
They're literally just carving it off.
Yeah, just one little layer at a time. I did it! I guess it warmed up in my pocket enough so I don't have to carve my way in. Great success.
We definitely need to find a battery.
Yeah, we do. Like, let's, do you think there's like a Walmart around the corner?
Probably, yeah, I would imagine. That's a lovely sound.
Yeah, it is. I like this shovel. It's a little big.
I do too, actually.
We were off, backtracking along the trails we'd come in the previous evening, back under the culverts, and to the spot that we'd aired down at. We had about 15 miles of interstate travel, so we aired back up again.
We were coming up to the bridge over the canyon that we were going to take last night.
Oh, dude, that would have been so cool.
I guess I'm not going to find anywhere that sells a battery for my key fob then.
Yeah, you're out of luck.
And we're airing down again. I actually did this particular trail last year with my friend Sean, and this one's a really good one to do in the winter because it is a really soft sand. So if it's wet and snowy, it's fine because the sand's actually more compact, makes it easier, and it also dries super quick. So if the snow has melted, we just have a nice soft sand to drive over.
There were a few patches of snow in the shade under trees and bushes, but the trail was mostly dry. It wasn't long before we were passing under the beautiful yellow cliffs and enjoying the views that are all over this part of the swell.
Last time I was in Utah, I talked about how I had to be careful where I stepped because I didn't want to like hurt the dirt. And I had someone making fun of me like, what do you mean it's bad for dirt to step on it? And it's because of this stuff. This is like a little microorganism that lives in the sand. And when you step on it, you kill it. It takes about 10 years for it to regrow to where you see it today. And this stuff, you can see how it's sticking up where it is. It's because it holds the sand together. So when you step on it and kill it, the sand can be washed away in erosion. So yes, it is bad for the dirt to step on it, but only where you see this stuff. Amazing how much drier this is than the last time I came through here. It's like this area just drains so fast with the soft sand. Last time it was completely flooded.
This trail is fun, man. I'm enjoying it.
Do you want to go check out the mine?
The Copper Globe mine was worked between 1900 and 1905 and is made up of multiple horizontal and vertical shafts.
It'd be really cool to have like those glow sticks that you break. And,
and just throw one down?
Yeah, see how far it goes. We could throw a rock.
Not
far.
Unfortunately, the mine seemed poorly managed, with a series of costly mistakes, including poor construction of the on-site smelter, which collapsed on its very first use. The mine also never actually produced any copper due to the poor quality of the ore, and as a result, never made any money. Today, there are multiple small buildings you can visit, several mine shafts, and a 75-foot long pile of firewood that was intended to fire the smelter.
This is a bed. Probably for seniors because there's some waterproofing on it.
Something's been eating this mattress.
Oh, those are rats for sure. Look at that.
That's really grim.
This feels diseased.
Well, this is a cool little mine, and you can tell this is a copper mine, not only because it's got copper in the name, but also because of the way it is. It has these tiny little green rocks everywhere scattered around it. So I'm assuming that color's from the copper.
From the mine, we continued south, heading towards an impressive overlook. David has never been to Utah before, and we're about to approach one of those cliff edges that Utah is just famous for. It is an incredible overlook. So I've switched places with him. He's now leading, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he thinks of this viewpoint.
it's wild, man. Like, I can't even comprehend what I'm seeing. It's super cool to see all the different layers in the cliffs and kind of the erosion that happens. And then off in the distance, I have no idea what mountain range that is, but there's snow-capped mountains down there. It's wild.
This is such a cool spot. I've been here before, but still, it's still breathtaking, even a second time. And it's a perfect spot to stop and eat some lunch because I'm really hungry. That's a view.
This view is pretty incredible. I want to take pictures, but every time I pull my phone out or camera, it just doesn't capture it.
The road had followed a canyon down from the plateau. As we climbed out of it, we had the choice of continuing down into the valley or climbing along a slow and windy, yet scenic route. Despite having a lot of miles to cover before camp, we chose the scenic route.
Oh, this is really cool.
There's a horse off to the left of us. I guess it's a wild horse.
We had thoroughly enjoyed the detour along the longer scenic route. The views across the valley, the colourful hills, and wild horses had all been worth the extra time it took, but we had some miles to put in to get to camp. Once we were back on the main route, we were able to pick up the pace to try and get to camp before sunset.
I don't think I've ever seen water in here before.
That was nothing. I kind of expected that slop from yesterday, but that was easy. Those almost look like lava rocks. That formation ahead of us looks really cool. I was just looking at the map. We've made killer progress, dude. I think we're gonna make it.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be there between 5 and 5:30.
I was really doubting it, just based on how little progress we made up until like 2 o'clock. I thought there was no way.
Yeah, I knew these roads would be faster, and actually I usually go faster on them, but now there's like surprise washouts and surprise slick parts, so I'm not. This is an incredible spot. It's actually the second time I've been here, and it's no less impressive the second time. I came here about a year ago, and really wanted to camp up here last year, but we're here pretty early in the day. This time it's 5:30. It's camp time. We're actually not going to camp right on the end here because it's not very level. So David found a spot just back down there that we're going to go down to that a little more appropriate. But I'm looking forward to setting up here and kind of catching the sunset because, like I said last time I was here, there's just views. Like, it doesn't matter which way you look, there are incredible views. And no amount of filming does it justice because you just can't get everything in the shot. Like, this is just, it's panoramic here. Like, you need a 360 camera to see everything. But we'll do our best. Get some time lapse of the sunset going, get some drone footage as all the reds pop once the sun goes down. You know, should be good. As you can tell, I'm kind of geeking out about camera stuff right now. Backing down off this is not much fun. Like, I can't see the edge on my right. It's probably about car width away. And I mean, I can see the edge on that side, but it's still like, it feels uncomfortable. Even though I know I've got plenty of room. Like, you could probably get about like 4 vehicles side by side here, but it still feels sketchy. It's perfect. There's even a little fire ring right here. David's chocking his wheels. This video is sponsored by Onyx, which is the mapping app that we've been using to basically do every single stage of this route, from starting with the planning to sharing the folder that we planned out with people who joined us throughout this trip, as well as actually just navigating using CarPlay on the screen in the Jeep. And you can see on here that they have actually recently updated the maps. So they are much clearer, much easier to use, and they have a bunch of color-coded suggested trails, and those trails are color-coded based on difficulty. And pretty much everything that we've been doing is color-coded green, so it's easy because we're doing kind of more of the long-distance overland stuff. So it's super useful in the planning stages. But right now, we need to pack up, we need to get going. We're meeting up with a couple of people quite a bit further south, and we need to decide which way we're going to go as well. We have two alternatives that we planned. One goes up over the mountains, one goes down along the valley, and we're going to get a little bit closer and make that call which way we decide to go. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Go for it.
I'm going.
Go then.
I'm waiting for you.
I'm ready to go. I'm waiting for you.
Which way are you going?
Straight.
Oh, I am too.
Just like the previous day's roads, most were dry and well maintained, allowing us to keep up a good pace. But we did hit another patch of very sloppy road that came out of nowhere.
Yuck.
Just like the patch early on, it was short-lived but made a huge mess on our vehicles.
It's gonna take so long to clean this thing. That rock is super cool looking.
So I've just come up to a creek, and they're not very common in this part of the desert. I'm a little worried. It looks like it's very silty, and it could be very muddy. Actually, it wasn't too bad. But you never know. As we've driven through the desert here, we've maybe hit, I think we've hit one patch of mud since we entered this part, and it was super slick, and it went on for like 30 feet maybe, and then was fine. It's just like every now and then we hit a damn patch. So I've just reached the intersection where we've planned a split in the trail depending on the conditions in the mountains behind me, and I think it's pretty obvious what the choice is going to be. We were looking at the maps, and actually the road is open according to Onyx. That's one of the nice features about Onyx, is it shows you which roads are seasonally closed by graying them out, and the one up there is open. I don't think it's going to be possible, and we kind of figured that was going to be the case. Technically today is, I think it's the second day of spring, so we figured it's going to be snow-covered up there. That goes over 9,000 feet. So we're heading south. It is 28 miles from here to the highway that we got to pick up, so we can go meet up with a couple other guys. And it kind of skirts through and around Cathedral Valley and Capitol Reef National Park.
Getting a better view of those mountains now with the snow, and I think we've made the right call.
That looks like a fairly deep washout there.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna do a different angle.
Really surprised by how much snow there is here on the valley floor.
There's a lot. I was also thinking if this is what it looks like at this elevation, we definitely made the right call. Really pretty through here with the snow, though.
Hoping this is as bad as it gets, because this is a north-facing slope.
Good thing is the traction actually isn't bad on this.
Yeah, this is very rocky, which helps a lot.
Ooh, we still got a lot of snow on here.